Okay, so yes, I'm single. I have two children. I have a boy and I have a daughter. My son is 7. My daughter is just turned 12. And I've been single father for 6 years now. And from a man's perspective, or from my own experience, I would say that it's been a learning curve, a big learning curve. Um, in a sense that I'm somebody that really, from a young age, appreciated and wanted to be married and be together and have a family. But things just didn't work out that way. I'm leaning on the Lord that there shall be a reconciliation at some point. Um, there's so many avenues and angles, um, different views in regards to being a single father, which could be expounded upon. But I'm going to take mine from a Christian purview, Christian perspective, and what it is, I see in this day and age, those that are Christian and being in the times that we live in, and the breakdown of everything which is basically God given, the breakdown of everything which is basically what God has put together, and one of those things being the marriage, the covenant, the relationship, and unfortunately, as we see a breakdown in these areas, one of the things which I really see, I'll let you know I'm 44 years of age, still feel like I'm 16 in certain areas. But overall, you see a lot of men in a breakup, you see a lot of men actually being seriously damaged in regards to the breakups of relationships. But at the same time, when they're on their own, they find it really hard to cope as well. I know women are totally wired differently and they can cope with emotional stresses a lot more than what men can. And they can juggle things a lot easier than what men can, you know. But with men, I feel, for example, being single, there's a lot of, it's not much support for men. There's not much support for single men. There's a lot of support, especially in the West, for single women. The whole system is really geared towards being able to support women in living a single life. Women, basically, I say women that are single and have children, single mothers. So when it comes to the men, what I found is having to kind of the financial struggle and be having to deal with certain negative emotions when you have to recover from a relationship, from a marriage, from a breakup. And then not only that, it's being able to basically be a mother to children, and only a mother can be a mother to children. And there's other certain things that women do in a marriage, which a man wouldn't necessarily do. And I can see why women do those things because men just are not naturally able to do so. But you have to adapt along the way, And um, I would say that you're kind of left by the wayside, and there's a lot of internal struggles. I would say you have women who are more likely to speak to, they have other people they can speak to, they can talk to others, and it's just what women do. Men bottle things up. Other men don't really want to hear about other men's problems, because you look at them being soft and so on and so on. But there's a lot of internal struggles which go on. By the grace of God, because I knew of the Lord, that's what really saw me through, you know. But I feel for those, and I've seen those men that do not have Christ in their life, to be quite frank. People could say any type of religion, but we know that the only real way is Jesus Christ. And those that have had other that haven't had Christ, they really have suffered. They really, really have suffered because, as I said, there's no outlet, for what men are going through. And so what I've seen is, unfortunately, is a lot of men actually suffer mentally. Um, yeah, very much mentally, very, very mentally, because you're told just to suck it up and just to crack on and get on with life. And then you have to work, you have to obviously find the money, be there for your children, be able to sit down and reflect, which men have to reflect a lot because it's a war out there, it's a battle, and men have to sit down and think just to survive. It's a bit different for women, you know. And if you're married, the man would do the thinking in a sense, of strategic thinking, how to navigate through life. And you have to do that as well as and and you need to be able to switch off. But you can't do that if you have kids, and you've got to do bits and pieces. Then you've got to I suppose you can see where I'm coming from. Everything else, which is all the negative things which come from basically having been being broken up, having a breakup in a relationship, and having to juggle all that stuff. And as I said, you're not given the support. The world does not support men in any shape or form in this area. And yeah, so it might seem very, very, very negative where I'll come at this, but it's just something which I really want to highlight. And what I would say as well to those that may not be in the same position as myself is to really look towards the Lord Jesus Christ, to be quite frank.